What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Quadeca's album From Me to You and just kind of asking the question, was this album worth the wait? Now also I want to shout something out. I have a weekly series where every single week I talk about the music that dropped, and I'm going to be talking about this album a little bit more in detail on that episode, which will be like episode 12. Those release every single Friday or sometimes Saturday, just depends. So if you guys want to see my official review of the album, it'll be on that video. But I just want to kind of break down, give a few specific thoughts on some tracks, and then really just talk about, was this album worth the wait? But before we get into this, just make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for over 1.3 thousand subscribers. My goal is to hit 5,000 by the end of the year, and we're already on our way there. So just thank you guys for the support, and let's hop on into this video. I became a fan of Quadeca right before Voice Memos dropped, so it was either late 2018 or just early 2019. I guess I'm not quite sure of the time frame, but I know I listened to him, or at least knew of him, before he dropped Voice Memos. And then once he released Voice Memos, I became a bigger fan of him, and I really enjoyed the album. There was a few songs on there I didn't like, but for the most part, like Ego Death, The Man on My Shoulder, Red Dot, Real Thing, These Days, I enjoyed a lot of songs off of Voice Memos, so it got me excited for From Me to You, and Quadeca started hyping that up in probably early 2020 or maybe late 2019, I guess. I don't really remember the time frame with all this, but I remember he started hyping up From Me to You a while ago, at least a year and a half ago. And I was excited for the album, and then I heard the first couple singles, which was like Where'd You Go and Alone Together. I wasn't really a fan of Where'd You Go, but I did enjoy Alone Together. So it kind of had me with mixed thoughts about what this album might be like. And then a year later he dropped Sisyphus, which is my favorite single that he released off the album, and this is probably my favorite song on the album. But after over a year worth waiting, was From Me to You worth it? I've listened to this album a few times, and I would say it was worth the wait because of Quadeca experimenting and to see the growth in his music from Voice Memos to From Me to You. But I would also argue that it wasn't worth the wait because we didn't really get to see Quadeca grow like we have been seeing. Quadeca's been releasing albums for years now, at least one a year since 2015, minus the exception of this album. So we've been able to see Quadeca's growth and how he's been getting better over time. And by him taking over a year off for this project, I would say the only thing that hurts is we didn't really get to see a lot of growth from Voice Memos to From Me to You. We just had a huge jump in quality from Voice Memos to From Me to You. And by quality, I mean the production, the vocals, everything I think is way higher quality on From Me to You than any previous Quadeca project. And I'm pretty sure everyone would agree with that, whether it's your favorite project or not. I think that this album does good on being its own standalone thing that could very well have longevity. I mean, it's really showing Quadeca is trying to branch out and try new sounds, which isn't really anything generic to hip-hop. I mean, he's going his own route. This is his whole own sound. The only thing really I've seen people compare this album to is stuff like Frank Ocean. But other than that, you can't really compare From Me to You to any of Quadeca's previous work because this is the farthest from actual hip-hop that I think Quadeca's released so far. I don't know if I would go out and say that I like this album better than Voice Memos just because of how experimental it is. I can respect the fact that Quadeca went out and wanted to try something new, and that he's actually trying to make a project that would probably stand alone, in that in 3 or 4 years from now you could look at and this could be people's favorite album, or they might say that this was their favorite album from this decade. I feel like that's the kind of project that Quadeca was trying to make with this. So I would say for the quality and the huge adjustment that we got from this project from Voice Memos, I would say that this album definitely was worth the wait in that sense. It just sucks that we didn't really get to see a lot of Quadeca growth from the last year because obviously sounds that he tried out that probably he didn't like a lot that didn't get used on this album, we would have seen have been released on a 2020 version of this album, and then moving on to 2021 we would have just got to see him grow even more. But then we just went from Voice Memos 2019 to just this huge change, which this is probably what Quadeca had been wanting to do. It just kind of sucks that we didn't get to see that growth, but then again we still did see growth between these albums. It was just more abrupt than it normally is. But that's all for this video, guys. Like I said, I'll talk a little bit more about the actual tracks on this album itself on my new This Week series, so make sure to check that out. It should be releasing this Friday. But thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next